Understanding your financial reports is confusing at best and downright frustrating at worst, because the financial reports for a construction business, well, they're open to interpretation. It really depends on who's doing the reporting, and does that person understand how it is that you make money in construction? Because if they don't, then your books, well, they may be technically correct, but they're still going to be confusing and frustrating for you. That's why the Profit First for Contractors system is profoundly simple and it's so effective. See, I believe that contractors should be as good at business as they are at their craft. And the key to understanding how the financial side of your business works is the Profit First for Contractors system. So as I've taught this system through the book and across the United States at my live events, I have started to develop this framework. And before, the framework consisted of two parts: the 4 core principles and the 5 foundational bank accounts. But now I'm realizing that we're adding another level to the framework as far as how I teach it, so that you can think about it like that. And that's what I want to tell you about here is we think about it as the 4, 5, 3. So 4 core principles, 5 foundational bank accounts, and the 3 rules of Profit First for Contractors. So real quick, let's do a recap of the 4, the 5, and I'll tell you about the 3. So the 4 core principles are small plates, serve sequentially, remove temptation, and enforce a rhythm. So the small plates, that's just where we're going to go from one bank account to multiple bank accounts. Serving sequentially, well, we're going to use those bank accounts to take care of the most important aspects of our business first: income, profit, tax, owner's compensation, and then the operating expenses, right? So then the third principle is to remove temptation. Now that you are making a profit and you're going to have to pay some taxes on that profit, we need to lock that away. We need to remove the temptation when things get hard, and they will get hard as our business goes through its normal cycle. We want to remove the temptation to steal from that money that's just sitting there for our profit and our taxes. So we lock that away. And the 4th core principle is to enforce a rhythm. Every 2 weeks, on the 10th and 25th, we go into our bank accounts, we allocate the money, we pay our bills, we take a look at a few things, and then we're back to work. We're back to operating our business so we can focus on what it is that's generating the income and the profits for our business. That's it. The 4 core principles: small plates, serve sequentially, remove temptation, and enforce a rhythm. And the way that we do that in Profit First for Contractors is with the 5 foundational bank accounts. So remember the core principle number 2 about serving sequentially. Here are the 5 accounts, and they are set up to serve our business in the order of priority. So money comes into the business. That's our income account, number 1. But the income account is just a pass-through account. So money's going to come into there. It's going to sit there for a couple of weeks. And then on the 10th and 25th, remember when we enforce a rhythm, then we're going to allocate that money to the different accounts. So account number 1 is the income account. Now we're going to deal with the most important aspect of our business. That is the profit. So we have a profit account. We're going to set aside some money in our profit account, depending on as you go through the system and you go through the program, determine what your profit needs to be right now, and that's going to increase over time. But we set aside our profit in another account. Then when we make a profit, then you will pay taxes. And I know paying taxes has been painful in the past, but what you have to realize in the Profit First for Contractors system, paying your taxes, having the money sitting in a bank account, it actually becomes rewarding, because taxes are a sign of a profitable business. So we can remove the stress and the misery and the mystery surrounding paying our taxes whenever we set aside our profits. Well, we set aside a percentage for our taxes as well. And that's what the Profit First for Contractors training program shows you, exactly what those percentages need to be. Now we've taken care of our income, our profit, our taxes. Now we need to take care of the most important employee, and that's the owner. And the way that we do that is with the 4th bank account in owner's compensation. See, if you as the business owner aren't paying yourself enough to replace yourself, let's say that you got hit by a bus. Could you hire somebody to come in and work and do all of the jobs that you do in your company for what you're paying yourself? A lot of times the answer is no. So we've got to correct that and make sure that you're compensating yourself for the value that you're giving away to your clients. So that's the 4th bank account, is the owner's compensation. You are the most important employee, and without you, there is no business. So we have to compensate you correctly for the value that you bring to the business. And then finally, the last thing, now that we've paid our taxes, we've set aside our profits, we've taken care of the most important employee, well, the only thing left is to pay some bills, is to operate the business. So that's the operating expense or the OPEX account. And even though that this is probably the biggest account, meaning it has the most money in it, it's actually least important because of the sequence that we've set up: income, profit, taxes, owner's comp. Then whatever's left over, that's how we run the business. And if you don't have enough money in your OPEX account, then you don't steal from the other accounts. You don't take away from the most important employee. You don't steal from your profits. That's the reason you're in business. You don't take from your taxes because the government will come running, and you don't take from the income, meaning you don't steal from future jobs. If you don't have enough money in the OPEX account, you change the way you operate. So that's the 5 foundational accounts. Now to the 3 rules. Here are the 3 rules of Profit First for Contractors that really completes this framework, what we're calling the Profit First for Contractors framework. Rule number 1, and it's very straightforward. Your income is 100% of your budget. What that means is all of the money that comes into your business, that's your budget. If you spend any more than that, if you spend more than 100% of the money that comes into your business, then you're going to have problems. Now, you might be saying, well, Shawn, that's pretty basic. That's pretty fundamental. And you're like, and I'm saying, yes, that's exactly why it's the first rule. Because a lot of times when we don't understand the financial reports, we don't understand that we're spending more money than what's coming in because we see some positive numbers, or we just don't understand what the numbers are in our financial reports. So if you got $1 million that comes in between January 1st and December 31st, if you spend more than $1 million, I don't care on what it is, you're going to have problems. Okay, so rule number 1, your income 100% of your budget. Rule number 2, play the percentages. The way to think about that, it plays off of rule number 1, is every dollar that comes into your business, a certain percentage of that dollar is spent on different aspects of your business, and you need to know what those percentages are. What are your percentages of cost of goods sold? What are your percentages of expenses? What's your expense? What is your percentage of net profit before taxes? What's your percentage of net profit after taxes? You have to know these percentages because as your business grows, the percentages may change. They probably will change. When you're a small business, then your expenses might be pretty large, but then as you grow and you actually become more efficient, then your expenses as a percentage may get lower even though the dollar amount gets higher. So you have to understand, that's rule number 2, you got to play the percentages. You have to understand how the percentages work in your construction business, and don't fall for this industry standard crap. There are no industry standards. You need the standards that it takes for your business to make a profit, and nobody else has got your business. So you can understand that when you play the percentages. That's rule number 2. And rule number 3, this is where Profit First for Contractors always begins. Rule number 3 of Profit First for Contractors is to start small. In fact, you start so small, you set a goal so small, it's impossible not to do. That's why in the first chapter of the book, we say, go create a profit account and set aside 1% of your bank balance and start there. And when you get through the book and you've crunched all your numbers, you've set your targets, you know where you're going, you know how to adjust your prices, the way that you get there, you start here and there's a big gap. There's always a big gap, and I understand that. But the way that you get there is you small steps, quarter by quarter, month by month, and year by year. You will get there, and it'll happen faster if you adhere to rule number 3, that is start small. So that is the Profit First for Contractors framework. Remember, 4, 5, 3. The 4 core principles, the 5 foundational accounts, and the 3 rules. And just to recap, the 3 rules are, number 1, your income is 100% of your budget. Number 2, play the percentages. And number 3, start small. If you want some more help in implementing Profit First for Contractors in your construction business, then go enroll in the Profit First for Contractors training program. The links are down below. And when you enroll in the program, not only will you get over 35 video lessons taught by me, you'll also get access to our private Facebook group where you can get coaching from me and my team and the other construction business owners that are going through the program or that have graduated through the program. They're in there. They're ready and willing and able to help you along with me and my team. So go enroll in the Profit First for Contractors training program. It's over 35 video lessons, and we're going to walk you step by step by step through all of the financials. You'll know how to make a profit. You'll know how to save for taxes. You'll know what you need to pay yourself, and you'll understand margin and markup and develop pricing strategies to guarantee permanent profitability as you grow your construction business. We're going to take the mystery out of the financial reporting, and you're actually going to be able to direct your bookkeeper, your office manager, and your CPA on how it is that they need to work for you in order to guarantee you make a profit and manage the cash flow at the same time. Go enroll in the Profit First for Contractors training program, and I'll see you in the first lesson.